Hello everybody, this is Heflamoke here. I'm gonna be casting with Mikelorus. You're watching HeflaTV and this is the ESCC 2015 tournament. Yesterday we already had one game of the playoffs. The top 4 teams now are pretty much started on stream. We didn't know pretty much till very late yesterday, but the tiebreakers are through. So we have Victory, Lord, Energy, Pacemaker, Newbee and Tongfu as the best of 4. VG Gaming, they dropped out in the tiebreakers. So yeah, we're going directly into the draft, boys. $40,000 on the line. It's the 3rd day of the tournament, and yes, we gonna play everything to the end, which means if you have any bets, any items to bet on these games, then yeah, brace yourself. A lot of best of 3s are coming in, and as far as I know, the final is gonna be best of 5. So yeah, a lot of games coming.
Yeah, and right now, just EP going up against Newbee.Y in a best of 3. It's kind of insane to think this best of 3, if you win, you just get guaranteed 50k yuan, I guess. So that's not bad for a best of 3, as they're guaranteed 3rd place if you win. Shot for a 2nd place spot, of course, and then the money scales up real high from there. So obviously, you would rather win than lose, and we've seen both these teams do decently, not entirely spotless performances, but I think overall both these teams definitely do have what it takes to at least get to the finals to contest Tongfu, because it seems like Tongfu are just firmly on the top.
Yep, I mean Tongfu was already with 6-1, I think, the best out of the round robin, or 7-1. I can't even remember. Wait, I have to actually look up the score. Yeah, 6-1. We had 6-1 on Tongfu, 5-2 on Victory or Lord, and then the 5-3s where the tiebreakers were decided and VG just dropped out. So Tongfu definitely the favorite here. They had their first best of 3 yesterday already, where they dropped down Victory or Lord into the loser bracket. But man, like I really have a good feeling about Victory or Lord. It feels kind of very refreshing in a new team. So I'm confident they can actually make it through the loser bracket. However, Tongfu waits already in the next best of 3, and now we have to find out if Newbee or Energy Pacemaker go up against Tongfu.
Alright, so we'll see with this draft what's going to happen as Newbee.Y grab Gyrocopter, Naga Siren, Undying, of course, going to be the first pick for Energy Pacemaker, Queen of Pain, Storm Spirit, 2 heroes that we have seen quite often over these, or Storm Spirit going to be banned out, Queen of Pain still in the pool. But I think as far as heroes to kind of watch out for, Queen of Pain, Winter Wyvern, perhaps, with an Undying opening, could go pretty darn aggressive, as we had seen from one of the teams yesterday. I believe that was actually Dream Gaming, who unfortunately aren't, going to be in the tournament at this point, but Shadow Fiend Undying, that's a pretty interesting opening. Both sides really have a fairly unique opening set of heroes.
Yeah, but what I like about the Chinese games, and after 2 days we know that for certain there are heroes they definitely want to pick. When it comes to the roamers and the offlaners, we have Clockwork, Undying and Tusk. So one of them is always banned or picked. There's just no other way around, because when it comes to the cores, they play Shadow Fiend, Gyrocopter, Storm and Leshrac, those 4. So you only have 4 bans, which means you can really just rotate it around. This time we had the Storm and the Clockwork out, and as the Tusk and the Leshrac, which means we still have the Queen of Pain in, and Undying and Shadow Fiend are already picked, as well as the Gyrocopter. So Queen of Pain is what is either getting soon banned, or we might actually see it for Newbee.Y, unless this is a core Naga, which I kinda doubt, unless we see something crazy. I don't know, putting the Naga in the mid, the Gyrocopter in the safe lane, maybe putting a Wisp behind the Naga just for the Riptide spam, and then making sure she's controlling the map. The Gyrocopter is like maybe earlier fighting. We saw that the Chinese can utilize their Gyrocopter very early. Like, wow, I'm level 6. Let's leave safe lane and go somewhere for a big clash fight.
Hey, if the fight is there, you might as well contribute a call down. It's very low cooldown, very efficient skill as far as what it does and how easy it is to land. I don't think there have actually been, or I haven't seen any farming sirens in this tournament. You've obviously casted more in this tournament than I have.
Yeah, but one. We had one. Yeah.
One? Did it work?
Yes, it worked very well.
All
it was
so,
miracle style.
So yeah, Naga Siren, not really with a lot of farm overall in this particular tournament, and I think that in and of itself is going to decrease the chance of seeing a farming Naga Siren, but especially with the Gyrocopter, you generally are okay with having someone just with a place stun or a place disable to set up for that Gyrocopter rocket barrage afterwards, especially if you are going to be going up against an Undying and potentially very offensive lanes.
Yep, so we have for both at the moment just the focus on supports. Dazzle, very popular pick in the Chinese tier 2 scene, apparently. In the West, he's not that loved. You always need like some sort of combination with the Dazzle, and I think it's also a bit too early into the game to pick that Dazzle. Because there might be Axe. Then again, we had one Axe, I think, so far in this tournament, which is quite amazing to see. And yeah, on the other side, not much different. We have the Winter Wyvern and the Bounty, so no track gold. The Winter Wyvern is always pain in the butt. He ruins your day and your fight, because he can really turn around fights that look bad for the moment, but then all of a sudden, there comes the Cold Embrace, there comes the Winter's Curse, and everything seems fine again. The Queen of Pain, my prediction was right. She's either getting banned or picked, and I think with this we have the confirmation. This is a Naga Siren in a position 4. Maybe she might transition into something. Let's see.
Yeah, Naga Siren, just as a hero, you do get that luxury of, if you find yourself with a lot of gold, maybe not going to be the most common occurrence, but if you do, then you could grab a Radiance. You could start going slowly into that more farming, more map dominating Naga Siren that everyone knows and only some people love, and that's probably not going to happen. If they have someone like a Bounty Hunter on their team as well, first of all, the support duo would really suck, but you know, you actually have a chance at doing that, since you'll be getting, in theory, some track gold as well. But Newbee.Y just going to grab a Queen of Pain. Matching up against the Shadow Fiend in mid is pretty even. Earthshaker still in the pool here for Energy Pacemaker, and I don't know, like, you know, obviously the percentage of exactly EP's selection of Earthshaker, but great with Shadow Fiend, especially up against the Queen of Pain, and to a lesser extent, better versus Naga Siren as well. But perhaps that's not really as aggressive as they really want to be right now.
Yeah, well, we have to see where this one is going at the moment. Yeah, I was just about to say, like, Undying could actually go roam somewhere. The Tombstone is just pain in the butt, not just for laning. Also, if you actually have an initiation on something and you have an uptime, you get them low HP. The Tombstone, the zombies are working on you, multiple zombies even. You try to run away, but there's just no escape from the zombie nation. Spirit Breaker might be one of those heroes that actually gives the initiation, and the Undying just joins the fight. For example, in the mid, he rotates in, you have a charge, Tombstone comes out, raises fly, and that should be an easy kill, especially if we have a Queen of Pain there without a blink or anything like that.
I would expect Spirit Breaker Undying to be, for the most part, a dual lane, so they can always put pressure in that dual lane. That's the whole point of the Undying Spirit Breaker dual lane, and then of course, sometimes you can have Spirit Breaker charging towards that Queen of Pain in mid and setting up for a couple of Shadow Fiend easy raises there. It's a very dangerous thing for Newbee.Y to play around, especially since one of their support heroes, that Naga Siren, is a Naga Siren. She's agility, she doesn't have a lot of strength to begin with, and her ability to poke and prod a Spirit Breaker and Undying is limited to Riptide. So it is not a fun lane for Naga Siren to be supporting. Gyrocopter is kind of the hero that you want, but at the same time, Gyrocopter isn't going to do enough damage. And yeah, the fact that Gyrocopter doesn't do enough burst damage is a problem in the lane, and he's not tanky enough to really stay comfortable in an Undying Spirit Breaker lane. So I like where EP are going right now. It really depends on how much more aggressive they want to be. Darkseer is a pretty good, I think, kind of defensive choice from Newbee.
By the way, Darkseer, I mean, I was about to say the Darkseer and Earthshaker, those two are actually missing, like, out of the popular hero spectrum we saw pretty much the last 2 days. The Juggernaut is kind of the odd man out here, because we had, I can't even remember, I think we had one core Juggernaut the first day or something, but besides that, we both yesterday did not have a Juggernaut at all, so this is a new one. Let's see how this one goes, because yeah, it's something new. The Darkseer, well, that's an old story. He's gonna be in the offline, he's gonna do fine, especially in those clash fights. With the Gyrocopter, there is a nice synergy, and we have with the Naga Siren really the option for a perfect setup. If Energy Pacemaker, if they get caught in a nice position where they clump up, you can position the wall before already. You wait till the song and the cooldown is there, and then you have Sonic Wave, cooldown, the wall, initial damage, plus the illusions, plus Iron Shell, whatnot. Naga Siren will hold one in place. Everybody's slowed, everybody's getting damage. It's a massacre if that's actually perfectly executed. Only the BKB could, yeah, be there, relief. But right now, only the Shadow Fiend is an early BKB candidate. Everything else, no, I don't think so.
And even if it doesn't get to that point, even if they never actually have any sort of Wombo combo, Darkseer right now is looking to face up against potentially a combination of 3 melee heroes. EP have very, very crowded lanes as far as lane control is concerned. Consistent lane control, it's not going to be that high. Silencer now for EP. Definitely scared about that team fight. Definitely scared of this Naga Siren throwing a wrench in the aggressive plans of EP. But the Darkseer is going to be fine in lane until he actually gets jumped on and charged, and that might not be happening all the time. Newbee.Y, they're going to grab a Rubik as their last pick. A point-click disable to be joined with the Naga Siren. Great hero with the Gyrocopter as well as against the Spirit Breakers. So I think it's a pretty reasonable pickup here for Newbee.Y. This game looks like it's going to be a game where, unlike others, Naga Siren would have a higher chance of actually going into that core kind of smashy role, just because the rest of her teammates don't do a ton of scaling damage.
Yep. So with the silencer, well, that's definitely the combo breaker. I kind of love it because, I mean, I just talked about the combo. You said, like, even without the combo, there are quite some openings for Newbee to make this work. The silencer, however, is kind of destroying it all because without BKBs, and we have two potential BKB heroes on Newbee's side, the silencer can really, screw with you. That's for sure. Anyway, guys, yeah, there's the obligatory pause, and we're just gonna use that time to introduce them. We have here on EP's side playing that silencer, Fan on the Juggernaut in the safe lane. Old Chicken is gonna go in the mid with the Shadow Fiend. IT or LT is on the Undying, and I forgot the last name. Let me look this up.
The Spirit Breaker?
Yeah.
Xiao Tulei?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And it's on the Newbee.Y side, not official Newbee. Melody Lovers is going to be on the Naga Siren. Wow, how appropriate is that name? That's freaking awesome. I love when that happens. Piao is on the Gyrocopter. Uwe is on playing the Darkseer. SC is on the Queen of Pain, and MR is playing the Rubik. So, yeah, we have a silencer who's going to be played as a support. Usually not a terribly huge fan of that, but I think this is kind of fine. EP, they have heroes that are going to be pretty self-sufficient in the lane. Silencer doesn't really need to be a huge threatening force there, and they can just get around the Silencer's weakness by having so many frontline bodies for the Silencer to hide behind.
Yep, and there we are through with the invites, guys. Let's go. I'm actually looking forward to this because both of these teams, they come up sometimes with a very un-Chinese style, let's say it like this. We had pretty much a mix of everything. We had yesterday games with 6 kills before the game even started, like complete madness with smokes and whatnot, fights over runes, like cliff telekinesis and whatnot. All sorts of actions, but we also had these games where we didn't have a single kill the first blood till the 20th minute or so, or 15 minutes in, and then also 20 minutes, 30 minutes farm patches where, I don't know, like the kill per minute was like 0.1 or so. Either way, let's see where this one is going. At the moment, the Juggernaut is the one who has perfect vision on those 3 here entering the Dire jungle, and so I don't think anything's gonna happen. At the moment, it really looks like a 50-50 bounty split. Bottom goes to Dire, top goes to the Radiant.
We'll see if the Rubik and Naga Siren decide to stay on this top lane. We do have Boots first on this Rubik, indicating that he wants to help out the mid lane a little bit more, but Gyrocopter, at the very least, knows he's going to be up against the Juggernaut. With or without help, or the Gyrocopter rather, should be just fine in this lane. If you have a single telekinesis, suddenly Juggernaut has to spin. So this Juggernaut is not going to have the worst lane, but he is bottom line down here for the most part by himself, unless they actually do want to make a complete rotation right now. They actually are putting their supports, or at least Undying, and, well, actually, no, never mind. They're actually going up to the tri lane, so this Gyrocopter suddenly up against 3 heroes. Yeah, Darkseer is going to do very well up against Spirit Breaker, but Darkseer is probably better suited on this top lane.
Yep, and, well, I don't think he's gonna stay alone in that lane because that would be a bit too much. Oh, never mind that. In the mid, there's already the first blood. Shadow Fiend going down with the help of the Rubik and the Queen of Pain. That was so fast that I even missed the camera. Well, that is a good start into the tournament, right? First game, first blood missed.
It's a warm-up.
It's a warm-up, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta ease into it, man. No big deal. But this is gonna help the Queen of Pain quite a bit. She actually has a level advantage over the Shadow Fiend already, and that's a small taste of this lift up level 1 on this Rubik. They might go again for this Silencer. They're gonna get the lift up. There is no Rocket Barrage, actually. There's quite a bit of right click damage with the minus armor. Silencer might go down regardless. One more hit. Oh, he canceled it. That's a little bit unfortunate. I'm pretty sure that last hit would have gotten the kill.
Yep, but then again, he would have also gotten 2 more tower hits, and that would have been really close. Now, the Undying is rotating in here. He has the Decay as the first point, even though the Tombstone might have been very, very interesting here. A Tombstone in the retreat position, or in the retreat path, and you really had problems, because those damn zombies, man, it's not just the movies. In Dota, it's pretty much the same story. You cannot get rid of them, you cannot kill them. Or, well, you can kill them, but then, well, the rest of the team kills you.
Headshots only, right? No
Yes.
sniper in this game, no chance to kill off these zombies. Over in mid lane, Old Chicken, he's gonna get smoked up. Blink forward from the Queen of Pain, lifted up as well. This is a level 2 Shadow Strike. There's no scream, but this is the beatdown. That'll kill off the Shadow Fiend. Queen of Pain will draw another kill. This Rubik, man, so far already setting up 2 kills for this Queen of Pain, and the Shadow Fiend will eventually still get his farm, but he really would rather be in this lane farming as opposed to relying on jungle stacks so early on in this game.
Yep, like this is probably the worst start you can have as a Shadow Fiend, that suddenly a Rubik comes in and every time he rotates in you also die. There was no rotation, not even the little glimpse of a rotation by EP. They just did not react to it, don't have TPs or whatever the case is. The fact is that, well, the Shadow Fiend, he has to suck it up. And the problem is, well, level 2 raises, he starts to stack already, but he's losing the lane XP, and that's just so bad at the moment. The Queen of Pain being level 4.5, she might actually hit level 6 at 4 minutes and go for the first rotation, and that's insane, because I don't know, if she's like 2 levels ahead of like the offlaner, for example, or of the people in the tri lane, she can actually come along. A Sonic Wave at this point is like, what, 60%, 70% of a silencer, and then you just put the Shadow Strike in, some random damage of those who gank with you. Easy kills to set up. So having a Queen of Pain with that much XP, something you definitely don't want to happen.
And for this Shadow Fiend, there's actually no one on his team who's actually going to be helping him. Silencer and Undying as the supports are very good if they're sticking in lane, but as far as ganking, they're fairly useless. So the Shadow Fiend can't really expect to get much help from those two. Spirit Breaker would be the one to help out, if anyone at all, but if he charges out of this off lane, it's going to be very, very obvious that's happening. And there's actually a complete lane swap here from Newbee.Y. Deciding this top lane isn't quite what they want it to be. I think this is the right decision right now. EP, though, they're going to follow this Undying down to this bottom lane, but I don't know if this is a completely safe position for this Undying Spirit Breaker dual lane any longer, simply because Gyrocopter did already get a little bit of a start up towards top, but right now EWE has a pretty easy top lane. In all honesty, like, this Darkseer is already level 5 versus, well, a total of 6 levels of hero up on the top lane, so this Gyrocopter's still having kind of rough time in this game, but the Darkseer's having a free roll game. He barely has to try.
Yep, I think this rotation is the best that Newbee could have done, because, I mean, wow. Oh, there's a little charge by the Spirit Breaker. The 17% are kicking in. He cannot lift him up to the cliff, and he actually can continue. There is a Orb of Venom. He has the boots. Worse is also boots, but the problem is he is just faster, and, well, what he needs is a bash. Just one more, and that should do the trick. There is the net, but there is also a new charge if he actually finds him. But at the moment, he's kind of scared of the Naga, which is, yeah, reasonable, and he's charging up. That Shadow Strike will kill him on the way, though. Even a projectile is following him. He has no stick. Easy kill there. The rotation of the Queen, yeah, definitely worth it. She's on a killing spree already with 3 kills.
And if you look at her item build, this is... I love this move. Like, Queen of Pain, notoriously strapped for mana, especially when you are getting so far ahead. You get a little bit of extra intelligence with these null talismans. Your right clicks hurt a hell of a lot more, but you could actually use your combo a lot more frequently if you just get a little bit more int. And null talismans give you that just enough so that you could comfortably make plays like this. Jump forward for Old Chicken, 2 shots, blind Sonic Wave. It's not that hard to land it when there's that many options for the Shadow Fiend, but suddenly Queen of Pain gets a solo kill by herself. Shadow Fiend level 4, almost level 5, whereas Queen of Pain pushing level 7. EP can no longer, like, leave this mid lane alone. They need 2 heroes in this mid lane at the very least if they want to not die, and even more if they want to turn around and kill off this Queen of Pain.
Yep, I was just there in the mid, and yeah, the kill. Well, the double races might actually get... Oh, this is absolutely perfect. Just before he got the dominating streak, now he's losing it to the one he fed the most of. So Shadow Fiend, well, it's a bit more than a consolation prize. This is not a full comeback, but it's probably the best that could have happened to the Shadow Fiend. Finally, there is a rotation and creating some space for that Shadow Fiend. Still, well, Queen of Pain bought out before he actually died. We barely lost any gold. So this is PT's double nulls, you already said it. This Queen of Pain is definitely looking good.
And she can actually get some help from this Rubik, who now has Tranquils, so his ability to reinforce definitely very high. This Spirit Breaker, though he did start off looking as a core, though Xiao generally plays a little bit more of a core role for the EP side, is pretty much demoted now to a support. They're going to leave this Undying down on the bottom lane. because they need the Spirit Breaker to be elsewhere. He can actually have contributions, and the Undying really can't. So it's a good situation for the Undying, obviously, but perhaps just going to mess with their flow a little bit for EP, whereas for Newbee, they're pretty much just going to stick to their guns. Queen of Pain back to the mid lane, happily going to farm that one up. Darkseer is still doing very, very well up on top versus this Juggernaut, and now this Gyrocopter is actually slowly but surely getting some farm.
Yep, and looking at the draft again, and now how the game goes, I think Newbee, they are the one who want to push a fight anyway by draft and also by how the laning goes. I think the Darkseer might actually become the mech carrier. I don't know where this one is going. Maybe this is also like a Darkseer, I don't know, going for utility items like a 4-staff. We saw that yesterday, where it was like, oh yeah, he's gonna have a fast mech, and then he came up with a 4-staff or something like that. We have to see where this one is going at the moment. No, he buys a headdress. I mean, that could still be a lot of things, but yeah, my assumption is simply a mech. We have a charge on a Gyrocopter. Well, there's the Rocket Barrage already on, baited out pretty much by that Spirit Breaker. The Queen of Pain is actually rotating in, but is that enough? There's the Tombstone, a Blink Forward should do it, but even the Shadow Strike is absolutely enough. And tasty gold. This is 125 gold for that Tombstone.
Oh man, the Chinese lag starts early. I had no idea what happened to the Undying's health pool because I didn't hear or see a Sonic Wave. But I'm pretty sure one was casted there because, well, it's on cooldown right now. So, yeah, jumping into that Undying, the charge on the Gyrocopter, I think that was a pretty okay play, just a consideration play from Xiaotulei, but seeing so many heroes teleporting in from Newbee, and they just couldn't even disengage fast enough from that one. So it's just going to end up giving yet another free kill to the Newbee side, a little bit more experience and free time for this Gyrocopter, as clearly Newbee are going to be protecting this Gyrocopter. They, as long as they have continuously teleport scrolls on this Queen of Pain, this Gyrocopter is going to be pretty difficult to kill. He will see the Spirit Breaker coming most of the time because he does have a pretty well-placed Observer Ward.
Yep, and looking at the items right now, there's not much coming out by EP at the moment. Like, they're still finishing their basic items. The next steps for, I don't know, the Queen of Pain, what is that? Like, what is that Void Stone actually going into?
Well, she's going to get charged right now, so the Void Stone might be irrelevant. Now she's going to get a blink out. Now it's the Rubik to be swarmed with zombies. They're still stacking up. Charge is actually canceled, but Old Chicken's still there. Raze will kill off the Rubik. Now one more Raze will connect up to SC, but he'll fall back for right now. Yeah, okay, so Void Stone, nothing great to block for like a Lincoln Sphere or something like that. Just having a Yule Scepter may be the build, but man, with this much of a lead, getting a fast Agam Scepter or an Orchid can be backbreaking. I'm surprised she's not going for either one of those.
Yep, it's kind of surprising, but let's see what route she is going down, because I mean, she had that little advantage and everything. I thought we're gonna see maybe an Orchid coming out, because that would maybe give her the advantage over the Silencer. The Silencer getting silenced, which is hilarious, yes. And so he can't actually cast a Global, which might have been interesting as an initiation tool. Then again, maybe it was too much of a crap shot. The Juggernaut also with the Orchid might have been an interesting target, but he also has too many tools to get rid of it. I mean, he might go for a BKB, he might go for a Manta at some point, so yeah, maybe Orchid wouldn't be even the best thing here.
Well, we'll see what she wants to go for. Fact of the matter is she's getting quite a bit of net worth. She's on top of the game, in fact, so she will have quite a few options open to her. Yule Scepter on Queen of Pain I think is probably the most likely thing. I'm not a huge fan of it, especially when you're so far ahead. You can go for something really, really aggressive and not get punished at all. SC is going to make a more defensive choice, and you know, I mean, the global silence is going to get debuffed off should she have a Yule Scepter for herself, so it does have some serious value, but I think going for the aggressive plan is a little bit better. Regardless, they're going to jump in for this Undying. Tombstone is dropped, but the Sonic Wave cuts all through with that, and the Undying is going to give his life. Tombstone still alive right now as they charge in onto Melody Lovers. Another strike there as well, and Dog Siren going to drop, and now the Queen of Pain, she'll haste herself out of there. And even 1-1 on the bottom lane, but I think that should be just fine for both sides, honestly. Not really favoring either side too much. We do have a smoke, though, heading up towards the top lane. And if anyone is going to get caught, it looks like it probably is going to be the Silencer. Never mind, they just want to go for Old Chicken in mid again.
Yeah, it seems like they just want to wrap around, go for Old Chicken. The Queen of Pain is TPing in, and there is the call down. Boom, that's hit number 1. They don't even need the second bomb, pretty much. The second rocket hitting the ground there. He's just dying. He was actually working on the mech recipe in the chicken. We have the headdress as well as the buckler. But yeah, that final recipe is now slowed down again by 200 gold, so he needs another 700 or so, or roundabout, to finish this one. The mech will give him some armor, will give him obviously some HPS, some stats, and the heal. And he definitely needs it. He's just too squishy, and Newbee knows that. Newbee is completely exploiting the fact that the Shadow Fiend starting into the game and having a horrible mid lane is so vulnerable.
It's actually a lot closer to the mechanism than I would really expect. His net worth isn't suffering too much despite having died 4 times, but Newbee, they're playing as already a pretty large squad right now. They're leaving the Darkseer to his own devices, but I don't think that's going to stay forever since Newbee is closing on his mechanism as well. So Newbee, with their ability to fight right now, given how far ahead they are, how much they have on this Queen of Pain, Eul Scepter, by the way, completed, they may just group up and go for straight pushes. And for EP, yeah, they'll have the mech at approximately the same time, but unless they actually get on top of this Queen of Pain with the Spirit Breaker, I don't know if they're actually going to have a chance at winning these games. They need the Juggernaut's Omni Slash to do some work, but Juggernaut is still getting a pretty decent amount of farm in the top lane. I don't know if they'll make that call to leave top and try to salvage a fight that may not be salvageable.
Yeah, at the moment it's still going decently for EP when you look at the Juggernaut, because he is free farm. He's 80 and 11. That should put him in the first position when the Queen of Pain is decent. Also the Shadow Fiend is like in farm surprisingly well, because Old Chicken really utilized the jungle as much as he can, always going for the double stack here, and well, that will pretty much salvage their bad laning. Only 4 kills ahead. Newbee is not in a position it might look. This is a 1,250 advantage at the moment in net worth. That's not much. That's 2 kills. Any other event like a Roshan, a tier 1 tower, and that is pretty much completely turnaround. Talking about tier 1 towers, I mean, both teams are not great pushers. To be honest, giving the Tombstone, I would probably even give the advantage to EP, unless of course the Naga would be playing a different role here. Then we could also look into illusions, whatnot, but she doesn't even put a single point into mirror images at the moment, so that's not coming out. The push for Newbee is harder than you might think, actually.
Yeah, they have to get a decent team fight going beforehand, otherwise we'll see what would just happen in the mid lane. Undying gets that free denied just because they don't have a DK, they don't have a Pugner to actually take those towers down decisively. They're going to smoke up on top lane. Yui is going to show his face, but the Rubik and Queen of Pain still hidden. Also, the Naga Siren is lagging behind as well. They see Fan, and they have a lift up. Can they burst him down? Sonic Wave, not used just yet. There's the global silence, though. Fan just getting beaten down regardless. Spin not helping him versus the physical right clicks. 2 TPs coming in. They also see the silencer, but they're going to blink straight in for said silencer. I don't think he has much of a shot here. The surge forward on the Darkseer could get a vacuum back, or just the Eul Scepter. That's good too. He's going to fall into a whole pile of heroes, and the healing ward is nowhere near enough. It's going to be a double kill for SC and a tower destroyed.
Yep, and that is at this point the perfect spell to steal like everybody's full HP. Nobody has to worry about the tower actually hitting them because the healing ward is stolen by the Rubik. I was kind of surprised because first the Juggernaut went into the trees. He expected as much as a gank. And we just talked about that the Juggernaut had free farm. It was time for Newbee to actually say hello and gank him. However, at some point he was just like, oh, you know what, I'll just go back to lane, and then they're probably not going to gank me, which was a big mistake because the second he showed, they actually went for it. However, they might want to take revenge on the other safe lane call here. The call down, not cast yet. Now it actually might jump at 70%, kicking in, and look at this Queen of Pain cleaning up. There is the Undying. They focus the Tombstone, which is very important at this point, which is doing too much damage, and yeah, Spirit Breaker also going down. We had the Silencer coming in, but he just came freshly from the fountain and going back where he belongs, pretty much. There we go. The Shadow Fiend didn't even make it into this fight, contributing with the mech or raises whatsoever. This is, I don't know, bad for EP, like charging into a tier 1 tower, knowing they were just on top and having ready TPs. That is very suicidal, which also ends in another tier 1 lost.
Gyrocopter a lot tankier than I really expected. He took pretty much no damage in that entire exchange from the Spirit Breaker on the Undying. Like, he got a really late call down, but hey, it still was good enough. So they said tower is going to be destroyed. That's 3 very quick tier 1 towers in a row for Newbee.Y, and this is just going to give them so much additional momentum in this game. Not to mention the cash flow. For SC especially, he has 2,400 gold as the Queen of Pain after having grabbed that Eul Scepter, and they can make such aggressive plays through positioning. Like, look, this is where they're sitting in the enemy secret shop. You don't sit here 16 minutes in with your entire team unless you are very, very, very far ahead. They know that if anyone is going to show their face, they're simply going to die, and that person might be Shadow Fiend. Don't do it, Shadow Fiend. Don't do it Undying either. He's going to walk right into a Rubik. There's the lift up. They have a lot of burst damage, more than enough, in fact. Even through the Global Silence, the charge is going to go through straight to SC, but he gets Yuled up halfway through that charge. Juggernaut's in the middle of everything. He's going to try to spin down Darkseer. Song, though, is going to keep the rest of his allies at bay. Darkseer going to get healed up a little bit. Now the call down will slow down the advance from EP, and Newbee are going to cleanly disengage. Not completely, though. It's going to be a charge connected into the Darkseer, but he gets the vacuum off. Interrupting the charge, but it won't interrupt the Nether Strike. Iwi now getting a little bit body blocked, 17%. He's looking for it. Can't quite get it, though. He's going to get lifted up, thrown back into Old Chicken. And that should be a full disengage for Newbee. They get away with the Undying kill, and they don't lose anyone in the chase.
They just don't get anything. Like, the Global Silence was too early. They wanted to save the Undying with it, but everything was pretty much too late. They just blew him up. Then comes the Silence, and by the time the charge hits, the Global Silence fades already, and therefore the Naga could easily just get the song off. For engaging and disengaging, it's just perfect. What I wanted to say before that fight started is that they also have amazing sustain. I just showed all the items while they push you the tier 1 tower. Like, they have 2 arcanes, 1 mech. It's so easy. Oh, but a beautiful vacuum ball here, right there. There's a net on the Spirit Breaker. He actually wanted to charge out. I think they still make the retreat after killing the Tombstone. But, well, we have to see where this one is going. I don't know why the Queen of Pain actually yields herself, but yeah, that just happened.
Should dodge a little bit of zombie damage or something. Yeah, I don't really know about that, but that was a 4-man Sonic Wave after a 3-man vacuum wall. Unfortunately, though, they didn't have the call down there, which probably would have gotten some kills, but hey, that's 2 parts of the 3-part combo, right? They just need that 3rd part in, and that's a pretty easy team wipe for Newbee.Y. If EP have that type of positioning in the future, they have to make sure not to be positioned like that, obviously. The Crackback is looking for this tier 2 tower. What do we have stolen? Empowering Haste. Sad day for the Rubik, but I don't think Newbee have enough pushing power necessarily to go for these tier 2s. If they had another damage item, perhaps in this Gyrocopter, maybe they would have enough, but right now they could have to look for kills. No tower push is really viable with their team comp.
Yep, and Newbee at the moment in a 5k advantage, which can be solely explained by 3 tier 1 towers and just 10 kills ahead. It's just looking good for Newbee. Still, it's at 18 minutes, not something you cannot overcome, but the problem is, of course, now it's getting more and more solid for Newbee, therefore they can even advance on this. But we have to see, there's a smoke, maybe that's EP's chance to do something, but oh, there's another strike. It's not gonna get through, and even the Rubik is completely out of vision. Zombies actually not even spawning on him right now. There's finally somebody giving some vision, but look at this caller on 3. It's so much damage right now. The Global Silence helps them, but in the end it's still so much damage. Rubik is going down. Gyrocopter will go down if the movement speed is alright. Yes, this is 2 down, but there's a buyback on the Rubik. He's gonna TP back, and in the backlines they just finish it off. We have the Shadow Fiend on a pretty much lost position at the moment. He does not contribute to this fight, while the Silencer is getting cleaned up, and also the Juggernaut has nothing. It's completely out of steam. No Shadow Plate, no nothing. And talking about Shadow, I think this Shadow Fiend also has to run. Maybe the Silencer should just turn around, be the sacrifice, so the Shadow Fiend can just TP out. But there might be a vacuum. No, there is a lift. Even the Song, they really want to make sure they get this kill. There's the Requiem, but Telekinesis in the air. You could still go for that Requiem while the Silencer dies in that pursuit. And nope, he does not even get that cast through. So this was just 1 buyback by the Rubik, but it was totally worth it.
That was just a 5-for-2 exchange. It cost the Rubik a little bit more than everyone else, but the Queen of Pain collects huge, gets that solo kill on the Silencer, leaving the rest of her team to, of course, kill that Shadow Fiend. The Gyrocopter died as well, actually, through the beginning of that, so it wasn't ideal, it wasn't perfect for Newbee.Y, but for EP, as you said, the Shadow Fiend really didn't have much part in that fight. The Global Silence came a little bit too late to actually save the Undying. Maybe if he survived for a little bit longer, they could have done something from that position once they caught off the Rubik in the jungle, but just a little bit of slight mistimings from the EP side, and suddenly, yeah, it's a whole bunch of deaths. Rubik's gonna get jumped. Juggernaut's gonna try to spin him down. He should have enough movement speed to keep up with him, and well, he's gonna steal the spin, but Spirit Breaker doesn't care about that. It's a kill on the Rubik, but it's a kill on the Rubik. It's not really gonna matter too much for Newbee.Y.
Well, it was still a damn good play by the Rubik. Like, the second he casts Nether, he steals the spin, so he's immune against the Nether Strike. So him surviving for that long, Jesus, like, if there was any, you know, any revenge crew around him, that would have been just an amazing play, because I don't know how much time you can stall as a Rubik. I don't know, oh, never mind, that Undying tried to heal himself. There's the Tombstone. He needed a Tombstone actually before just to get some additional heals up, but Queen of Pain is just, yeah, ripping him into pieces. And Arcanum Scepter is done. This is only a level 2 Sonic Wave in 2 levels, or actually in like 1 1/4. we have a level 3 spammable Sonic Wave, and that's gonna be even worse for EP.
575 damage is a lot right now versus the health pools of EP. So Queen of Pain getting the early Yule Scepter, not really getting a ton of value out of it, I don't think. Like, occasionally used to interrupt a TP and whatnot, but hey, it's just a stepping stone item for Aghanim Scepter, which a 20-minute Aghanims for Queen of Pain is still a really good timing. So I don't think she's going to be too upset at the fact that she made that little bit of a pit stop. They are going to try to go for the bottom tier 2 after trying to crack the mid tier 2. Again, I don't know if they have enough power. I don't know if they have enough advantage to actually go for a tower push like this, but hey, EP, they may just not defend it. So I guess as Newbee, you test the waters, see if you can get away with it. If not, you just back off, and it's not really a terribly huge deal. But if they don't defend it, you get a free tower. They do have Fawn wrapping around right now. He has the Omni Slash and the Shadow Blade. He sees the Courier. He's going to grab the Courier kill, but at what cost? Spin TP, Sonic Wave cuts through, and he's going to die. Totally not worth it. Now the defense from EP is definitely not going to come through.
Yep, this means no level 2 Omni Slash into those heroes. The Courier, definitely not worth it, and I think this was even an empty Courier. It was him getting the Courier after all the items were already deployed, but oh, look at the Shadow Fiend popping his BKB, but well, the net is holding him in place. The Requiem, actually quite nice for the Naga Siren, and also no chance for a song. Easy kill right there, but do they go for a turnaround? It's a 4-on-4 situation right now with a Tombstone still in place, so I think Newbee is not going to go for a second round, or, well, they stick in the area, stick around, maybe someone is getting out of position.
They have Requiem stolen, that's level 2. They have Queen of Pain's ultimate back up online. Cooldown will be up very soon, and they still have a wall. So, yeah, the Juggernaut's not going to be up for another 5 seconds. That's 5 seconds where they can keep on putting damage into this tier 2. Probably not enough to take it, but again, it's not going to be enough to take it anyway. So, it costs them the Naga Siren. That's not a terribly huge deal for Newbee. They don't get their tower, unfortunately, but they are flexing their muscles as far as their ability to burst heroes down, and they still can look for some sort of push, given that they do have these ultimates up, especially this Requiem on Rubik, which can hurt a lot.
Well, I think the bottom line of this entire fight was kind of an even trade, because, well, it's your Juggernaut for a Naga Siren, but then again they got the Courier as well, which is of course always inconvenient. It's a bit gold for you. Yeah, the experience lost and the time lost for potential farm on the Juggernaut, not to mention that he did not get his ultimate in this fight. Well, there could have been so much more with him alive. Still, I think they salvaged the most they can, EP. They had worse trades so far. But oh, there's another smoke, and they're gonna find the same guy again.
Well, this time the net is a little bit later. That was right on the front lines. Sonic Wave will cut through all of them. Wall is there, but they'll just kill off the Tombstone. The old chicken, Shadow Fiend still fighting. They get the back onto 3, super late, but super effective regardless. Rubik gets the Requiem off on the sidelines. And for Newbee, they lose their Gyrocopter right now, yet still SC is kicking and kicking very hard at that. Melody Lover's gonna chase down by the Silencer. He'll die as well, but SC's still at full HP, and someone has to hit this Queen of Pain. No one has actually done that this entire fight. They'll get a double kill for SC. Looking for a triple as Lei is the last one to fall. Yui and Merv both surviving. That was a super awkward fight, since the Song of the Siren actually blocked most of the cooldown damage, but it got rid of the Tombstone, so I guess it worked out for them in the end.
That's the good thing about you can actually kill the Tombstone while you have the song up, which is insane, and I think that kind of saved the fight, because just imagine this fight with Tombstone still up, like all of them were super low. I mean, this was not a close fight by any means, as in like EP getting, I don't know, no kills at all and can't really finish them off. Like, it was really just a matter of one more right click or any nuke, any spell. This was also a fight without Requiem, even though he was in a perfect Requiem position. I think Newbee just, especially that Naga Siren pick, it just outdrafted EP so much, and EP just didn't think about the Naga really screwing with their lineup, because you can use the song for the Tombstone, you can use the song against the spinning Juggernaut, and you can use, I mean, not the song, I mean the net against the spinning Juggernaut. You can use the net against any BKB target, like the Shadow Fiend, and this is at the moment royally screwing with AP. This is, wow, like, without this net, without this song, the fight would have been much worse.
The Naga Siren is very similar to like the Winter Wyvern in that regard. They do really poorly in the early stages. They're not exactly lane controlling supports, but if you get to this 25 to 40 minute mark and you're unpunished, you're not completely losing, then the fact that you have that BKB piercing disable in that ensnare, you have that reset button in the Song of Siren, and in this particular game, reset button also includes killing off the enemy tombstone, then Naga Siren just becomes ridiculous. EP, they really missed their window to effectively shut down the Naga Siren. Now they see Xiao Tulei. He's going to get lifted up, dropped right back into a whole mess of enemy heroes, including a Flesh Golem, stolen by Rubik to amplify that damage. Not like they needed it. They're going to clean up the Spirit Breaker and clean up an enemy double stack as well. They look like they're going to set up for Roshan Newbee.Y, and I think that should be a pretty easy objective to take if they actually do fully commit to it.
Yep, Queen of Pain with the double damage is not even contributing to the Roshan, but well, she's just gonna get some additional farm. There's also a full Shivas coming out for the Queen of Pain, which is of course insane. Her AoE is quite wow. Coming in, Sonic Wave, Shivas, Scream. This is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt a ton. Like somehow EP they need to put their tombstone in a position where they can protect it, or where Newbee has to really go deep to like kill it. And well, the Requiem has to come out in a very, very optimal position. This is just all not looking good.
Shiva's guard slowdown. Old Chicken has a tombstone as cover, and that's about it. And Mikao's working through that one first and foremost. Sonic Wave will be thrown. That'll kill out the Shadow Fiend and the Undying both. SC gonna claim 2 already. Plus with the Shiva's guard, pretty much invulnerable to the rest of the heroes from EP. So they're looking forward for a little bit more. Ensnare's gonna be thrown onto Xiao Tulei. He has a BKB, so he'll pop that one. Turn around for the Nether Strike and the Metal Leaf Lovers. Not doing too much damage. They also have the Song, but Guardian Greaves gonna be used first. Now this tower is going to fall. This Queen of Pain is doing so much freaking damage, and because most of the damage from EP is physical at this point, she's taking none while she's actually dealing her entire payload. So with this Aegis, they claim the tier 2, now pushing up the high ground, and EP have 30 seconds to actually stall out until the Shadow Fiend is back up alive. I don't know if they're going to have that 30 seconds.
Nope, at least the tier 3 tower is definitely going down. The Cliff was already used. The Juggernaut, excuse me to say that, but he's fairly useless this game. We had one good Omni Slash, everything else, he never had a single Omni Slash. The fight Omni Slashes are kind of shit. Now we actually might see something here. There are not many creeps, but he doesn't even get to cast it. It's hilarious. He's already dying like from all the AoE. He's trying to save himself into a Shadow Plate, but there's the Sonic Wave just cleaning it up. Undying is the next one to fall back from the fountain into the fountain. That's pretty much the creator of Old Chicken right now. While the GG call is going down, he will also find, well, forever peace. And this Queen of Pain, GG, and definitely well played.
SC definitely an engine off of which Newbee.Y won this game. They of course got a lot of help early on from the Rubik, and it's very easy to say, oh, Queen of Pain OP did everything correctly, but she got that start because of the Rubik's boots first, because he was sitting on the Shadow Fiend's mid lane for the entire time. If he wasn't doing that, then Queen of Pain would not have a 23-1-8 score. So well played to the Rubik for actually setting up for the Queen of Pain to have that much momentum in the early mid-game stages. And for EP, they had Undying, they have Spirit Breaker, yet no early game aggro. If you have that combination and you still can't get kills early on, then you're looking at a really bad time in the mid-game.
Absolutely. I mean, the Queen of Pain did so much work while I'm trying to adjust the size of that damn screen. There we go. Finally, there's the screen. I got it. Man, I got it. There we go. That looks
production
good.
Value?
Yeah, production value is there. No, I didn't have the chance to set up the scene, but wow. I mean, Newbee. Like, overall, the draft was solid. To be honest, I did not see the value of the Naga Siren coming when the draft was going on. I thought it was a good pick, but I did not really, I don't know, imagine how good it really is against Tombstone, against singling out a target with BKB, not to mention like getting the spin of the Juggernaut and getting the BKB of the Shadow Fiend. There was just no escape, no kiting, no nothing. We had barely any utility items coming out by EP, and the laning was already horrible with the 2-0 for the Queen of Pain, and the Queen of Pain started amazing and she ended amazing. She started with first blood and a follow-up kill and ended the game with a rampage. What else is there to say? Guys, it's a best of 3. We are coming back for game number 2 in just a bit.